You have reached the public service. Ask yourself one question. Are you a taker or a maker? As with any situation in life, is your situation taking or making you happy? This is a public service show, and I'm Sandra.
And I'm Kirk.
And today's show is titled Rot. The Remains of Trump.
Rot. Yeah.
No, don't ruin it now, because I can't get. I have to get back into,
Serious news mode.
Remains
Serious news mode
of Trump. So.
Yeah, the remain of Trump. Rot. Tax breaks. Well, now, the old 2017 Paul Ryan, that was the guy who's, everybody likes to say this was Donald Trump's tax breaks. I mean, they are his. He's the one who approved it, but Paul Ryan actually is the one who put this thing in place. And yeah, the only people getting tax breaks are the super wealthy. In fact, I think we were just seeing earlier today where people who make less than $50,000 a year, $30,000 a year, their tax bracket went up significantly, whereas the billionaires actually got a tax break. So
we are giving money to people who don't need it, from the people that need it the most. And not only did they give tax breaks to the rich, corporations got like kind of a wash too, didn't they? The larger the corporation, the less you have to pay. One of the things that makes me very angry about taxes in this country is that we have all these attorneys with loopholes. And I'm just going to give you one example because remember, I'm very consumer friendly. And one of the things that I want is for us to take our power back. But I've noticed, and I did my homework, that most of the trucking industries in the state that I live in, I'm sure is your state as well, have out-of-state plates. And the reason why they have out-of-state plates is because they don't want to pay for the infrastructure, because everybody who pays for your state plates helps contribute to road work. And if you notice around the country, our roads are the most pathetic of any industrialized nation. And it's because they found that loophole. Put your headquarters or your trucking industry in this state, and you pay no taxes when you travel around. I think somehow we need to figure out a way that we don't care what state you're in. You're going to pay for the roads because they do the most damage. Those 18-wheelers carry thousands and thousands of tons. The roads crack. And here we are, pothole city, and us little guys who are paying for our state revenue.
Taxes. And of course, those are state taxes.
They figured it out.
But it all fits
say
into the
for
same
instance, you're in
deal.
Colorado, you see, Wisconsin plates or Oklahoma plates. That's why. Because they don't want to contribute to you. And that company could be based right in your state, by the way.
Yep.
So they've really figured out how to take advantage of everything. So, and another little nugget. Those huge centers that they're building for AI, what are they called?
Yes, the data centers.
The data
AI
centers.
supporting data centers.
In that last bill, I
crock.
believe, you, consumers, get to pay for all the water, because they need a lot of water to stay cool, and all the power. And you're going to enjoy a lot of power outages. I don't know how long it takes to get those things up, but once they're done, that was the gift to you from this administration, that you yourself and your little states are going to pay for all of the costs. Congratulations.
Yep.
I'm being sarcastic, of course, for people that don't know me. And the next one is Doge. Doge came in like a whirlwind, talking about they were going to cut costs and they were going to make it a more lean and mean government. Oh, they made it lean and mean, all right.
Yep.
First, they went through every single department and fired everybody that had carnal knowledge about that department. Then they put their little computer chip things in there and they started taking all of our information and data, just sucking away. And I will turn it over to him to tell you what we think they did.
So this has been fairly widely reported, and anybody who's in the tech world and is not a complete idiot, what they did is they basically copied everything. Doge was in there for about a month-ish, a little more, I think, and in that amount of time, they could easily connect up to Musk's Starlink and just copy petabytes of data. And I'm just going to say, they say petabytes of data, but when it's just straight text like social security numbers, credit history, addresses, social security history, all that will copy up fairly quickly, even for 300 or 400 million people. In fact, they probably had most of the significant data copied in less than 2 weeks. And so if you, as an individual, are getting your Norton or getting your McAfee or getting your Bitdefender, you got your LifeLock, you got all these different things that you're paying for out of your pocket, they just threw that in the trash by basically putting your entire cache of data on the dark web or selling it to China or Russia or whomever wants to buy it. So, at the very least, what comes out of the Doge situation, in my opinion, should be a complete credit reset for everybody because they've got all your stuff.
And
that's just a fact.
It is a fact that what they did was 100% illegal.
Yes.
It has been proven by courts and everything that they had no right, Elon Musk had no right to take all of Americans. And don't just think it's just us. Every business,
yep,
every nonprofit, everything has been given over to Elon Musk.
And then distributed throughout the
I don't have the proof of that yet, but when we get the proof of that, you'll see it.
Common sense.
Common
just
sense.
tells you your data's gone.
Exactly. Yeah.
Let's see here. On to another hit. Tariffs, which continue to this day, or shall I say another sales tax, basically, on absolutely everything that we get. Because let's face it, starting in the 70s and working our way through the 80s and early 90s, we really don't manufacture anything here anymore. So that means that basically everything you buy is on markup. And that includes food coming from Mexico. I mean, we found frozen fruit from Turkey.
And chili.
So it's, the tariffs, and they're tariffing everything. And they're putting the disgusting tariffs, the really high tariffs, on the places that we get the most of. China. China, really.
And we do get a lot from down south and Canada.
Oh, and Canada.
But yes. I was recently informed by my ear, nose, and throat doctor, believe it or not, because he has a Canadian son-in-law. Canada is no longer going to trade with us. They are currently trading with everyone but us. Because Donald Trump instituted tariffs and threatened to make them the 51st state,
I just can't.
They don't want anything to do with us trade-wise. We're pretty much on an island of our own. Some people think that this will never change. I don't think so. The Canadians are very intelligent people, and hopefully with our regime change, they'll come back. And I hope that they do, because I find them to be warm and wonderful, and we've been partners for forever, I think. And this is the first time that there's cracks in the system, and I get it. I get it.
Cracks.
Well,
There's Grand Canyon. It's just, I'm a little less optimistic than Sandra is.
Well-
because the first words out of my mouth, if I'm one of our used to be allies, is exactly what guarantee do we have, like we being UK or France or Canada or any of these other countries, what guarantee do we have that you people, we foolish Americans, that will never, ever, and I state big old capital ever, elect someone like this again? And they have a valid excuse, because not only do we just elect this person once, but this is the second go around after a 4-year hiatus, so we're quite capable of doing it again after we already have the proof he was a waste and a piece of trash the first trip around. So
I have to agree that there are no guarantees in life. However, we are learning a very difficult lesson here. And we are showing our wares with lots of protests, lots of election flips. So the American people are showing up. And
at least the normal
we're
ones.
we're really trying to affect change here. So I'm going to be the hopeful voice and say that I hope that Canada does give us another chance. And then we can actually solidify some serious contracts that are unbreakable. That's what I would like. That's
I would
just
love
me.
That. Yeah. Oh no. I mean, absolutely. I'm totally on your page. I would love for that to happen, but we can't ever elect anything like this ever again.
Oh, no,
not
no.
even close.
I'm not even talking about election.
Yeah.
I'm talking about my hopes for the future. The thing that's in there right now is very old, and that makes me happy.
Right. I just need.
So I'm just
going to
stop there.
Anything like him ever again.
That's what I said.
So okay.
That's exactly right. We don't want to go down the dark hole. Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
So unemployment. Now, at first we were getting the actual numbers of unemployment, but my understanding is that department has been shut down. So each state is putting forth their numbers, and it's quite grim. What we're seeing right now isn't gelling with what the actual numbers that states are putting out. So first, Doge attacked and our government, education department, on and on and on and on and on. They unemployed hundreds of thousands of people. And most of the people were retired military. Then they unemployed a lot in the medical industry that we had, our governmental medical industry, when you go on base and things like that. Then they put an edict out to unemploy minority women and women, period, to make a strong workforce of male only, and we're supposed to go back home. So those numbers right now are quite askew, but I'm trying to find the actual numbers. It's very difficult because there's a lot of lying going on.
That's about all
And
we're doing.
the one thing that I've seen from other nations is that we are below flat. And when I mean below flat is that we haven't hired anybody. And when it's below, that means nothing is moving and nobody has money. So if you're seeing more homeless out on the street and more people asking for jobs, that's why.
Let's see here. And an end product of tariffs is food prices. And, oh, by the way, did you know that the word grocery is just like unicorn word out there?
No, it isn't.
Nobody
Every
seems
time
to
I'm going to go
use
get
anymore.
groceries, I'm out.
I just don't understand it.
I got to go to the store, get some groceries.
So, yeah, food prices. If you've been to the market recently, and I know that,
I shop for us all the time, and it's really hard to find a bargain because sometimes I have to go to multiple stores just to keep prices down. I'm not going to mention any stores because I don't know if they want to be mentioned on my podcast. But if they do later on, hey, we'll give you a plug. But yes, I would say in the last year, groceries
Groceries.
have gone up at least 30 to 40% in some stores and higher depending on the items you purchase. If you start to see your regular items that you purchase all the time going up, like your staples like milk, eggs, and we've all seen this, meat prices are off the hook. And I've noticed that a lot of bread. I mean, bread was up there for a long time, really, really high. You get a loaf of bread, it was over $5. With something that used to be $2 and $3 was just crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's just crazy.
It's unaffordable. And when I'm shopping and stuff, I hear people, you have to put that back. I can't afford it. And it wasn't even 2 years ago or 3 years ago where you would see people with, at least a half a basket. Now it's not even like that anymore. People just have the bare minimum. And companies are not going to eat the tariffs. They do not care if you eat. They do not care if your children eat.
Nope.
They do care if they don't get their billions of dollars of profit quarterly. I have yet to see a grocery store, and I go to a lot of them, give anything away, cut any prices, even give to food banks. How about that? I have yet to see any grocery store give food to homeless people that are just hanging around. Ever. So that ought to tell you where their mindset is. Their mindset is, we don't care. That's just my opinion. But you look at your store and say, ask your store manager, do you guys donate to any of the food banks or anything? I'll bet you they come up with the quickest, well, you have to go through a lot of red tape to do that. So we just rather throw the bread and stuff out the back and let y'all starve. So, just my opinion.
Yeah. Irritating.
Frustrating.
Very. And so you're the next one.
Healthcare costs. Ooh. So let's just do this now. So what's going to happen here is that
what healthcare? Boy,
since the big, beautiful, I don't want to use all of my fingers right now, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Big, beautiful bill gave the billionaires, because let's just say they're starving out there.
Really
and
are.
We should start some telethons for them. They
don't
had
have
to
enough
cut.
Cars.
Yeah.
Sorry.
They do. It's okay. They had to cut to give them, 35 to 37% cut or something like that in their tax base. They had to cut health care. Now, the military families can still go on bases and everything, but everyone else was in a pooled amount of money, which kept costs down, right? So the government said, we're not going to contribute anymore. You're on your own. Let the states pay for your health care. So we were supplementing clinics and things like that, the government was. We're not doing that anymore. In those rural areas, they're shutting them down. Yep. And because the government's not supplementing insurance and we're not in a pooled resources anymore, they have to kick certain people off. If you have existing problems and stuff like that, they're going to kick you off the rolls. They're going to say you're on your own and you won't be able to afford insulin. You won't be able to afford heart medication. You won't be able to afford diabetes medication. You won't be able to afford anything. So, but there's a caveat. I believe our president has a pharmaceutical company now, and you only are going to pay, 35% more than you were paying before.
Yeah, versus.
So, and that's helpful. If you pay more money, you can, he said that you could pay it over time, give you 30 days to pay it.
Yep.
So if your insulin is, now it's not covered by the government, it's $1,500, it'll be like $1,700 now. And you have to come up with that in 30 days.
Yep.
I thought that was so kind of him. Mm-hmm. You know what? I'm angry that all of the money in our government is our money and our people are dying. And we were just told no yesterday or the day before yesterday when we asked as Americans, why aren't you supplementing healthcare, Medicare, and all of these things? And he said he doesn't have money for that. He only has money for the military.
To bomb Iran.
Venezuela. Now, I believe
Cuba's on the
we're
list.
going for Cuba. So I'm just going to raise my voice a little bit because when I see people having to break their medication in half they're on television going, I can't afford it. They're doing telethons and all kinds of GoFundMe just so they can get health care again when we had solved that problem mainly. We had solved it.
We'd solved a lot of problems that this numbnut is increased, that has thrown back up. I don't know. Okay. Not to be outdone, gas prices.
Ooh.
Do I really need to explain much about that? But I'll tell you what, it's going to impact food prices up there, number 5. Gas prices. It's a problem. I'm not sure that we really need to do too much as far as talking about gas prices. They are off the hook absolutely everywhere, and there is no end in sight. And all these pundits keep flapping their gums about when this will end. Well, guess what? The war actually has to end first before, let me rephrase that. The war of choice has to end first before they can even take a stab at when this is going to end. Right now, it's all speculation. Oh, this will end in November, December. No, it won't. We're still at war. The Strait of Hormuz is closed to everybody. To us at least. Can't speak to everybody else, but so gas prices, they're actually, my guess is that you'll see places with $7 and $8 a gallon before this is all said and done. You can write that one down. You can take that to the bank. And the food prices that we talked about a few moments ago, that increase hasn't even hit the food prices yet. Give it a moment. This is the war of choice is literally only a little over a month old, and it's just now beginning to get an impact. The food prices, all your goods, anything shipped by truck is going to feel the effects of this gas price. Of course, not to include your own commuting and whatnot. So,
I recently found out that the United States produces all their own gas. So, you see my eyes? So what does that mean? It means that none of the gas in the United States, your cars or any of this stuff, is trucked or flown or shipped in. So the prices that you are experiencing are all artificial. It's just ripping us off because they can.
Yep.
If you look around, there are refineries everywhere. There's plenty of gas. But if something happens outside of the United States, the companies in the United States go, here we go. Let's just rake it in.
Yep.
And most people don't know that. Most people don't know that you are paying nothing but profit.
Yep.
That's it. And it's disgusting to me. It really is, because it's taking, Americans have very little discretionary money right now because the cost of rent, the cost of your car. And the one thing that is legitimate is that we do ship in cars and motorcycles and things like that. So you're going to have to pay a little bit more there. And we do ship in some food and electronics. Those, we're going to pay a bit there, but not for gas at the pump. The gas at the pump is a ripoff. 100% guaranteed ripoff.
Yeah, the price of a
Get
barrel doesn't matter whenever it's actually
mad.
Coming out of your own country.
Get mad. We export more than we use.
Yep. How's that for something?
We export more gas than we use.
Of course, imagine the argument you'll get into with the the fools on the stock market about, but it's global. No.
No. We're being ripped off, people, and
Left
they
and
don't
right.
care. Okay, my kitty is lost her mind. But
We vote for the kitty not to lose her mind.
you. Okay. So, voting rights.
Voting rights.
Don't matter what color, what sex you are, what region you live in, your voting rights are at risk.
Big time.
They want to take, I believe it is the people that are doing immigration, and put it at all voting polls and stuff and make sure that women and minorities and anybody they think is untoward, and that'll be all of us, are not allowed to vote.
ICE, yes.
I'm going to tell you something. I'm a nonviolent person, but I will walk through ICE and vote anyway. I've been voting since I was 18 years old. Sandra is going to vote again, and Sandra's going to vote again until somebody physically stops me from voting.
Yeah.
I will vote by mail. I will go to a polling place, and they better have a good reason why now I am no longer allowed to vote. Otherwise, I'm going to get a ballot, and I'm going to vote.
Oh, I'm not going to any polling place. I'm going to vote by mail, just like we've done for the last literally 15, 20 years.
That's
I'm going
exactly
to vote
right.
by mail. The orange person can vote by mail, literally, like a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
Then guess what? I get to vote by mail.
Right.
What's good for the goose, good for the gander. It's just not going to happen.
Yes.
Okay.
There is some scuttlebutt about women not being allowed to vote if there's a male in the house, right? And I don't know how they're going to pull that off, but it's not going to work.
What era are we living in? You people, I'm going to look, you people who have this mindset of like the settlers from the 17 and 1800s, yeah, you people can pound sand. You people have a problem. And the rest of us, we're not just going to roll over and capitulate with this. You know, take your religion and women's rights.
You expect us to respect your religious rights. You respect our rights, religious
Just
or not.
irritating. I'm gonna invent
See,
a
you
religion.
cannot have it both ways. You cannot say, I have to follow your religion. What if I'm a Jew? You don't need to know that. Well, what if I was a Jew and you're a Catholic? So now, because we're in America, Catholicism is the chosen one.
Yeah,
You
right.
see, this is where the problem lies. You want to educate the children in Catholic religion, but what if there's some Muslim children in there, or some Jewish children in there, or any other Baptist children that they all have different, or just pick your religion. You can't unilaterally say everybody has to follow your religion, because we are no longer the United States if we don't have autonomy with our ideologies.
I think that needs to be a double. I'm going to second that, because this is something that seems to be lost in the minutia here. A lot of the things that we keep hearing being floated, this Project 2025 and these Christian nationalists and the Catholic, this, that, guess what? If you are so bent on undoing all that, you basically do not want to be a part of the United States. You do not want a United States of America, because guess what? The religion part of it, that's why a whole boatload of people came here way back when. Because guess what? They were being religiously persecuted. The Quakers, the Puritans. Hello? And this is what you want to turn around. Get out of my face.
Another thing that you need to do is you need to Google how many people have died because of religious differences. So right now, I believe that Netanyahu is killing Arabs because they don't believe that either one of their religions have a right to exist. But over history, we have murdered each other to prove that my God is better than yours. My God is good. Your God is good. My God is better than yours. So to prove that those different gods are good, you murder each other. And if you take those religious books and you look in there, that is not what God says in either one of those books.
Well, that's not what when a man wrote the book.
A man wrote all
Greatest
those books,
fantasy novel that ever lived, the Bible. Man wrote that. How do we know
That's
God
true.
wrote that? Anyways,
It is written by man, but my point is that we've murdered each other
trillions.
for these books because we wanted to control others. Enough. If you believe your God is good, then you be good. You can study your God all you want. You can worship your God all you want. But God doesn't say go and kill others, rape children, sacrifice this, do that. If your God is good, be good.
Pretty simple, huh?
That's what I hope for.
Women's rights. Speaking of religion, where it seems like women's rights are basically flushed down the crapper. I mean, really? Seriously? I mean, what religion is a worthy religion if it basically takes half of the human population and throws it in the trash? Treats them like walking incubators. I mean, seriously, people? I mean, women's right to vote, to choose, women's right to exist without a man up their backside telling them how, when, what, where. Really? Again. I mean, we can put people and shoot them through the sky and they go wrap around the moon and come back. But we haven't solved a woman's ability to be her own entity in all its entirety.
Yeah. And why do you think that way back in the day after, we got rid of slaves, which was free work. Then we had Irish that we used. That's kind of my family for free labor. Why do you think way back when there was the women's suffrage? You guys need to look at your history because back then, a man could marry, father children, leave his wife and his children with nothing. She couldn't own property. She couldn't buy cars. She couldn't do anything without a man's approval. So women went out and fought for rights of freedom. And the reason why is that, what if your husband died? You had nothing. You know, even your house turned over to either a distant family member or your children. So the woman was worthless. And they wanted to keep you worthless. Even when I was a young child, my mother, or before I was born, my mother couldn't own property. She had to get permission from my dad. This was in the 60s and 50s, people.
This was in the 70s, too.
But I'm just saying so you think it was all wonderful, and it wasn't. My mom couldn't own property, and then when she got to a point where she could own property, you bet she did. She also got educated and got a job, because she said if my dad wanted to leave this time, she wouldn't be penniless with children. So I don't understand when a woman says she wants to go back to that time. Because when you empower some men, not all men, I use the word some.
Yeah.
Some men will take advantage of the situation, have women on the side, leave you. But what I read in 2025 is that a woman cannot divorce her husband, but he can divorce her.
They should have been just genuine and said, hey, we want you women to be chattel with no rights whatsoever. That would have been a lot more honest than however many pages of bull about trying to justify whatever.
Yeah. You know what? What really needs to be discussed, though?
People. It's just...
the thing is that it shouldn't be these women, because these women glamorize it. Oh, I get to stay home and cook and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. They don't have the sense. But what is wrong with a man that has to have that kind of power over someone else?
A lot.
I mean, what is wrong with a man that he wants to control reproductive rights from women and economic rights for women and voting rights for women, and yet and still he wants the woman to love him? And why don't you love me?
A lot.
There was a lot of women
Constitution.
that danced a jig when their husbands died. They were like, yay,
yeah.
the best thing that could ever happen
That
to
was
me.
a party.
Yeah. But why would you think that? You think that being a modern day slave, I kind of want to use that word, because you take care of his kids, you take care of his home, you have to be in, at his beck and call because he's bringing home, the cash. And so what is your worth? A lot of women found out they were worthless. Their husbands left them. So what is your worth if that's all you consider or all you want in your life is to just sit at home? I understand it's tough out there. I'm a woman too. I'm a minority woman. I understand it's hard. But I would rather take hard than be unappreciated and devalued.
I have a question really quick
Sure.
for you. What's with the modern day part? What does that actually mean? Because a slave's a slave.
They say traditional
Modern day,
wives, these women that these Republicans say traditional wives, but I also see them in power in Congress and companies and stuff like that. So what is a traditional wife? To me, a
Slave.
traditional wife is a slave.
It's a slave.
Is a slave.
You'll stay at home, barefoot pregnant in the house. You will cook, you will clean, you will beck and call your man.
You
So,
will
to me,
uneducate your daughters and empower your sons.
To me, it basically boils down to this. Men that require women of that ilk have a tiny constitution, and they go home and they feel good about laying a beating on people who can't fight back and who have no restitution, or they have no option or choices. Because let's pull back the covers. You want to know, do you think, let's put some common sense around this. Do you think women back in the 50s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s would have fought so hard for voting rights, freedoms, reproductive rights, the whole 9 yards, if it was just a big Shangri-La? No! They'd be laying back, kicking it up, having a great time. Husband comes home. No. Husbands were cheating, beating them to death, drinking, alcoholics, tearing crap up. And then when they got tired of the woman that they had, they were off finding a younger model. And the problem with that is you want to go find a younger model, be a man, put it out there and move on. But guess what? The women couldn't own the house, couldn't get a decent job. I mean,
That's exactly. Couldn't work at all.
It was not Shangri-La. So
no, it was not. And that's what,
fantasy
if
some
you
of these
look
young
up
women
the
have got.
suffrage period, women will tell you how tough it was. It was really tough.
I'm not even sure tough's are right. I mean, just
So-
downright vile.
Reproductive rights in our country have been,
Assaulted.
it's bad. So I'm reading a lot of stories of women that are being threatened with arrest, women that are dying. They're keeping the numbers down. Women that are dying because they're not getting abortions in some states when their child is in utero dead, or there's poison or something. And breech babies not coming out, the women dies, the mothers die. It's just...
It's horrible.
So I have been listening to a lot of scuttlebutt about forcing women to get pregnant because
Wow.
because our birth rates are dropping. And the reason why the birth rates are dropping is because intelligent women
Yes.
are not having children for many reasons. One, it's expensive. Two, it's dangerous. And I mean dangerous. Our country is one of the most dangerous countries to get pregnant and have a child. Our mortality rate is extremely high. You'd have a better shot in Mexico, believe it or not.
That's true.
And a really good shot in Canada.
Yep.
And we all know this. We know that we don't really particularly care about good outcomes for our fetuses here. Why? I don't know. I don't know why our doctors aren't taking good care of women. And they say African American women, but understand that that's only 20% of this entire country.
Lower.
So they make it seem like they have a high mortality rate. Children do. They do. But guess who's got a higher mortality rate? Whites and Hispanics. Because there are more of you by sheer numbers. Your children are dying. So don't listen to those numbers that you're immune and that your children are all going to come out fine. I can find incident after incident after incident of bad things that happen to you just like it does to everyone else. So we need to fight. We need to make it better. I'm not sure what's going on there, but it's not a good look. And they want to take away your birth control. So I've heard of a lot of women that said, you know what? I'm just not going to have sex then. Or I'm going to get it through the mail somehow or whatever. But they can't force you to have children. And if they start doing the rape thing, then we're going to have an even bigger problem.
Oh, then you're going to have murders on your hands.
Yeah, and then I heard on the news today, MSNBC Now.
Yes, MS Now.
That ICE is going after women who are pregnant and due that are coming here to just get that American citizenship.
Ah, yes.
Now, I find that very unfair.
That's offensive.
If you don't live here and you're coming here to get, that citizenship, they call them baby houses or something.
Baby mills.
Baby mills here.
It's like puppy mill.
And they have
mill.
these houses and you fly in your 8th month or 9th month, just when you're about to do, and you get your birth certificate stating that your child is an American citizen. That's not what this was designed for. Our country was designed for. That's exploiting.
Well, this is why people are fighting the birthright citizenship so hard, is because people are abusing it.
That's an abuse. I mean, they're exploiting.
Huge abuse.
Yes. So I don't support that.
Nope.
I wouldn't get pregnant and go to some other country and go, hey, now give me money. That's just wrong.
Well, when you wipe out the welfare per child, that'll fix that really fast.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, folks, but the reality of the situation is they come here to have a citizen child so that they can then, in turn, get that child on welfare rolls and they get free money.
Right.
That's a fact. Everybody knows it. It's baked into the system.
It really is.
So.
Taking care of Americans.
Yep. All righty. Well, what we've been doing. Freedom of speech. This administration, this president, these people, they don't want you to have freedom of speech. They want to shut that down as... Yep, see? They want to shut it down. They want to shut down freedom of speech. They want to shut down freedom of the press. This president is on record of threatening countless people, journalists, networks. In fact, their plan is to go at it from a different angle. If you have noticed the consolidation of a lot of media companies with, the Netflix and Warner Brothers and Paramount thing and CBS, and these networks, they have a problem on their hands. See, Mr. Billionaire, you can go buy out whatever. People will eventually just stop listening to you. They'll tune it out. They're done. People are tired of you rich people and you wannabe dictators, you little tiny constitution people who think you've got to just shut it down because, can we just say something bad about me? Grow up. Grow spine. You're never going to kill. You talk about, that, what's that saying? trying to put the genie back in the bottle, you'll kill 50 million people before that little genie ever gets back in the bottle. And even then, guess what? The genie's out. The genie's been out since 1776 and before then. The genie's out. You aren't putting this back in the bottle. You may, we're going to sue, or you're going to go kill or assassinate or whatever it is that you intend to do, and fire and stuff. Well, guess what? Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo. Grow up. Yeah. Unreal. Yeah. Freedom of speech is, and you're trying to shut it. I mean, this kind of goes hand in hand with women's rights. They're trying to silence women. Women are some of the biggest protesters. African American women are some of the get it done group of people. They want to silence they want to silence them. They want to silence the media. They want to silence anybody who doesn't just turn around, bend over, and say, "Thank you, sir. May I have another?"
The interesting thing about this situation of quashing freedom of speech is that I've learned so much from everybody. I'm not even kidding you. I love the rebellious people like myself. Because, I mean, even David Attenborough, I don't know if you guys watch his shows where he does education. He is doing an entire series because they got rid of the books on slavery. So he does a whole series on the truth about slavery. I'm learning things that I didn't even know. I am so impressed with people coming with the knowledge that was suppressed and they're trying to continue to suppress.
Yep.
It's fabulous.
Love it.
Bravo. Thank you. Keep it coming. We hear you. We really do. And this administration wants to only put out information they approve of. So the more that you guys put out, the more that they understand that they don't control everyone. Yep. And I love the message, and I'm right there with you. But we have to keep going. They understand that if children get knowledge, children won't be obedient and they won't be able to control them.
Yeah.
They may be able to stop some knowledge, but children are smart and resilient. They can tell a liar just like that.
Oh, yeah.
There have been so many incidences of children on January 6th that turned in their parents because their parents lied to them. They said, black people are all bad, right? Or all Mexicans are all rotten and stuff like that. Then they meet some. They're like, wait a minute. I think mom and dad kind of lied to me about
liars.
that. And so they made the decision, right? And the loss of respect. Because unless you plan on putting your children in a cellar and not letting them out, they're going to find out that you deceived them.
Lied to them.
And that's it. So freedom of speech, yeah, buddy. You guys are out there just plugging away. But I had to give a little, thumbs up to David Attenborough because some of the things about slavery that I didn't know, I mean, it horrified me, but I needed to know. And you guys with your information, like I said, keep it coming.
The one thing, I wanted to bring this to a point so people can go hunting because it took us a while to find it.
It sure did.
The origination of the Statue of Liberty.
Oh, yes.
I mean, everybody, you hear all the bull about how, because America beat Britain, we're free and, the immigrants coming over and France gifting us this statue. The French gifted the Statue of Liberty to the United States for abolishing slavery. If
you look at her feet, you will see handcuffs and chains, shackles. That's the true meaning of the Statue of Liberty. Check it out. And I never knew that until you guys with your wonderful information,
Yep.
and we were like catching
had-
flies in our mouths. We're like,
We had to hunt too. I mean,
Yeah,
you had to
it's
really
tough.
hunt. They hide that.
Oh, yeah.
They do a really good job of. I mean, we had to go through hundreds of pictures to finally actually see. You can see the chains
at her feet.
and the shackles where they're broken at her feet.
It was for the
So,
abolition of slavery.
It was for the abolition of slavery.
That's right.
Fast forward to 2026, and it's gotten so bad that now the French are going to abolish Microsoft. How
Yes.
about that? Because they want nothing to do with us. How sad is that? A mere short 200 and something years later.
I feel a little bit different about it.
Right.
Because I'm going to say this, and they can get mad if they want to, but the large corporations in the United States are the reason why we're here where we are.
That's right.
They took their money and they said, we don't want an America. We don't want freedom of speech. We don't want this. We want a slave force.
Slave nation.
And they paid with, they bought a lot in the entire Republican Party and some Democrats as well with lobbyists.
Yeah, the Democrats
because
are
we
clean
got
in this.
rid of rules that said that lobbyists, couldn't give a certain amount of money. Here, it's just so corrupt. They're giving millions and billions and backdoor deals, deal. They bought our Supreme Court, 6 of them, right? So that's why we're where we are. So when Microsoft loses money, bravo.
Yeah.
When Doge,
Boo-hoo.
when Elon Musk loses money, bravo.
Boo-hoo.
Because we need to teach them that they don't own us. That we made them. We made them who they are. And if they didn't have money, they wouldn't have power. So we need to take that power back. And if France is starting a movement, bravo. Bravo. I mean, Canada is no longer doing business with us. Bravo. I'm supportive of your right to autonomy. I'm not going to take you over. You're a sovereign nation. I respect that. Same thing with France. I respect you for doing it.
Greenland.
We need to do this.
Yep.
We all need to do this because it's not just the United States that they're taking over. Every other country, they're doing the same thing too. We just have a bigger problem here. We have allowed these billionaires free reign. And now you see what they're going to do. Fight in your countries too. We have to stop them.
It's all about money, people. It's plain and simple. It's all about money.
I agree.
Speaking of money,
Okay. Since I went off on your speech, war.
the war cost.
Is this considered a war? No.
No.
I don't even use the
That's a
word
joke.
war. It's not a war. It is a grift
Yep.
for corporations in America to take billions of dollars out of our coffers and say that they're actually providing us a service. I've read a few things where some things cost $1 billion, they asked for 3. We're losing a lot of money. I don't even know if the coffers are still full or even close or have anything left. But when he stated that he has no money for Medicaid, Medicare, school lunch programs, but I only have money for war, that was a good thing. Because there's still some people down at the bottom of the bell curve that need to understand that this entire administration is not about racism. It's about money and control.
Racism is just one of the tools. Racism, sexism, religion, all the isms, all the ists. It's ridiculous. And, of course, the what's the word I'm looking for? The war machine, the war complex, whatever it is, I mean,
It's an assault. This
think
is
Trump's
terrorism.
kids they have purchased some. They've purchased some drone companies. They took the money they stole from us, American people, bought some drone companies. Well, now, geez, we need war. We need to be able to blow up drones, kill lots of people, little girls in schools, so that Eric and whatever Trump can turn around and make more drones so they can
I think it was $670
kill more
million
people
they
and
stole.
I mean this is not rocket science. I mean, they have ripped us up. There's no more Department of Education. Where's all that money going? There's no more FCC, really. Where's all that money going? The FDA? Shell. Where's all that money? They've fired half the FBI, half the CIA, no intelligence community. Where's all that money at? Oh, I know. It's directly in Donald Trump's pocket. They spent how many hundreds of millions of dollars on that moron? Christy Nova, her videos, she could dance around on a horse. With the range. Yeah, shut up. You just want to reach to the screen and slap her. She's a serial killer, female serial killer. Anybody that shoots a puppy dog because it isn't obedient, yeah, she's a wannabe serial killer standing in front of those poor prisoners, Money. War. Money, money. Spend.
I don't
kill.
I don't think this is a war. I think this is terrorizing other nations.
Yes.
And so we didn't agree with this because he didn't go to Congress and state his. So as far as I'm concerned, this has nothing to do with the American people. This is all Donald Trump and his ideology about how to get away from the Epstein files. Because the minute they were talking about baby raping and cannibalism, we went to war like the next day.
Amazing.
It was the darn thing. Look over here, look over here, look over here. Right? And so
right there.
What I have recently found out is that a lot of generals are being punished because they will not target, and this is in our military, more infrastructures that have children, hospitals, the things that in the Geneva Convention and what are considered war crimes, they're not going to do it. So HeadSec is firing and moving them down.
Drunk boy.
And we have a real problem here because I, for one, want them to not follow unlawful orders. I don't care what part of the ship or who's on, who is directing you to, but please do not kill children. Do not kill innocent people of any kind, because this isn't technically a war. This is not sanctioned by anyone other than Donald Trump. So if you have a chance not to do something, legally protect yourself, because this is temporary. But the consequence could be forever. If somebody dies, the consequence is forever. There is no statute of limitations in our country on murder. I can't say the world, but I could state here. So keep that in mind when somebody asks you to shoot, bomb, poison, whatever it is, that your finger on the button will be partly responsible for taking an innocent life. And like the Iranians did nothing to us. I'm not at war with them. I'm just a lady in her house, shocked just like they are.
I'm just going to end it with this. I don't care if this Congress, I don't care if they did vote to go to war. Trust me when I tell you, the majority of the American people don't want this. So, they didn't get the vote from Congress, so I guess it's a moot point, but it wouldn't matter if they did. I still wouldn't have supported it, and so would 60 to 70% of the country wouldn't have supported it either.
Maybe even more. It's even higher now.
And so, as far as I'm concerned, no. And every time these rotten people say that they're doing this on behalf of the American people, I tell you, I swear at the television, because no, you're not. You're not doing it on behalf of anybody other than your nasty little wallet and your nasty little bank account. That's
And
your
the
whole modus
protests,
operandi.
too, that you saw just recently, we said that we're not supportive. Millions of us, including us, were
Hundreds
protesting.
of millions.
We are saying no to this terrorist attack on Iran by Netanyahu and Donald Trump. We say no. We say no. So I can't justify the murder of people that have never harmed my country. There's no bombs here. There's nothing. They've done absolutely nothing on American soil.
Nothing.
So that's where we decided that we're not at war. They've never harmed us in any way.
Yeah, there's no
So I could go on with this because
Yes, we
I'm
can.
just angry about the entire situation. But we have more time to talk about it. And
I am
this-
vehemently angry about it.
yeah.
Ask her.
And yes, we are. Are
She
you a
has to-
maker or a taker?
She has to temper me.
Are you a maker or a taker? You see, now the takers are in charge.
There.
Wait
Are you
one
a
second.
maker or a taker? Sorry.
Are you? No, you're right, though. Are you a maker or a taker? Now, what it looks like to me are the takers are in charge. The billionaires around the world, the takers,
And they take
right?
everything.
And they act like they're making something.
yeah, they're making a pile of
They're making people angry. They're making people hungry. They're making people homeless. They're making people dead. Because now if you can't afford your health care and you need something, you're going to die. So are they truly makers? I don't think so. I think they've switched to takers. Now we have to actually take to become the makers again. We have to stop them. Stop them. I can go on and he can too. So I'm just going to hold his hand and we're going to end this show. This has been a public service show. And I'm Sandra.
And I'm Kirk.
And thank you for joining us. And there's a lot more that we have to say, right?
Yep.
You have been watching a public service show. America is part of a global community. Sandra and I are well aware that the American experience had the hope for freedom. America isn't perfect by any means, and we are currently having our freedoms tested. Here at the Public Service Show, we're going to look at how and why we're at this point in America.